Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Today I'm here to wrap up the month of December. I've read 4 books this month and you might feel like I'm a total weakling, but in November I read 0 books, so 4 books is quite an upgrade. The first book that I'm going to talk about is going to be Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, the new book in the Grisha universe that she wrote, and that is going to be a duology, I believe. It has a group of very interesting characters and she expanded the world a little bit, although I'm not keen of all of her choices, but overall I enjoyed this book. I love the whole gang, I was interested in all of their backstories, and I can't say that there was a character that I didn't care about. It's about a bunch of thieves and outlaws that band together to break out of the prison a very important scientist. I'm not going to tell you what this scientist invented and why they really need him, but the whole premise is already a win, because you cannot do this plot type boring. Also, it helped that Leigh Bardugo knows how to write interesting characters. The complaint that I have though is an old one. In Grisha trilogy I had the same one, and it was about the out-of-the-frame relationships. She constantly writes relationships that had a past and that we don't know nothing about. We're supposed to believe that these two people had meaningful past and that they're right for each other, although we don't see it. I'm not a big fan of looking into the past. I love it when the whole thing is happening in the present. That's why I really love the growing relationship between Wyland and Jasper. They were happening right now in this moment, unlike the other 2 couples. I also have a few things to say about Nina's relationships with her Fjordan. I understand the complexity of it and that he was raised a certain way and he was told certain things about Grishas, but at the same time I am very conflicted on a few other things that have nothing to do with the place he was born in. Those are the dialogues that they have. For example, it really bugged me when he shamed her for her looks. There were quite a few scenes that seemed slut-shamey to me, and I really dislike them. It's the couple that I dislike the most, to be honest, in this series. I believe that these relationships are not entirely healthy. The next book that I finished is the sequel that I promised myself that I'm going to pick up at some point, and it was The Crown of Embers by Carson, a second book in the Girl of Fire and Thorn series, the first book of which I adored, really loved. It's a very diverse young adult fantasy about a world that was mostly inspired by Latino culture and had a protagonist that was overweight, non-white, very non-cliche. I also enjoyed a lot of things that Carson did with the plot, even though she used the themes that we see in young adult a lot. She approached them much more meaningfully, and I also adored the way she dealt with romantic subplot in her books. It wasn't overbearing and there wasn't a love triangle, which is always great. The second book though, for me personally, is not as interesting as the first one. This one is so action-packed, you don't have time to breathe, and it starts abruptly, like it had to be a part of the first book, which seems very weird to me, especially because I waited quite a few months to read the sequel. But I still really enjoy it, I still love the series, and I'm going to pick up the 3rd book soon. Then I read A Modern Romance by Aziz Ansari, and oh my god, it was so fun. Although it is a sociological study in the form of a book, it still plays a big role that Aziz Ansari is a comedian. He includes a lot of personal anecdotes in this book about his experience with dating. It's quite entertaining. I really enjoyed this book, especially because the studies were conducted not only in America, but also in a few other cities within the countries with extremely different cultures to America. In Paris, in Tokyo, and in Buenos Aires. It's a really fast read, and I think it's gonna be a great breaker in between bigger tomes. Then I picked up The Grownup by Gillian Flynn, and I am on the fence about it, to be honest. I still really love Gillian Flynn's writing, and I love the way she sets up the background for her stories and how brave and daring she is with her female characters. At the same time, she tackles a lot of problematic issues, and I'm not always happy with the side she's taking. This story also is very short, so I believe it doesn't have a lot of time to be fully fleshed out, and that it's flaw, obviously. So basically I didn't have the time to fall in love with the characters, and I think in the end I gave it 3 stars. That's all the books that I read this month. I hope you're not disappointed. Thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you soon in my next one. Bye.